Hey guys, it's Dr. Daniel Sugai, board certified dermatologist. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all the love and support here on the channel. I've been on TikTok for now exactly 4 years, and I started in 2020 during that crazy start of the pandemic, and I had to close my clinic down, and I was getting into social media to keep myself busy and spreading good information, because when I started scrolling through TikTok, I started realizing that there's a lot of bad information out there, a lot of misinformation, a lot of pollution. So I felt almost a responsibility to go out and make good content and spread good, credible information, because there was so much bad information from non-physicians out there on the internet. So I was also having fun with it. So I was like, this is great. I'm doing two things at once. I'm having fun while also giving good information and education to the world. And so it's never medical advice. It's dermatology humor, dermatology education, and tips. Scrolling through TikTok recently, here are some trends and mistakes I'm seeing on the app, whether it's TikTok or even Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. And so I wanted to compile the top maybe 5 trends or mistakes I'm seeing. And so this video is very important to me because TikTok is like my main platform. I have over 1.2 million followers there, and it's been great. It was such a great journey. So thank you for finding me there, guys, and watching my videos. But I wanted to show you some videos that I have found and some trends, and they go viral. They do really well, but I don't want you guys falling into those trends, those traps. I want to talk about the dangers behind doing some of these practices. So let's jump into it.
You have dark underarms. This is how you can lighten them and just breathe. But I know this is such a big insecurity for a lot of girlies.
Yeah, so dark underarms, it is a concern for a lot of patients, especially skin of color. So she's going to talk about how to get rid of it. Okay, the ordinary glycolic acid has been all over the internet, and this trend makes me uncomfortable because I see a lot of patients trying to put different things in their armpit that is actually meant for the face, right? Like, we shouldn't be putting glycolic acid in the delicate skin of the armpits, or we call it the axilla. The axillary skin is very different from the face. And if you look at the studies, the pathophysiology behind dark underarms, besides genetics, would be that you're getting micro trauma from shaving, either with a dull blade, a dirty blade, you're getting ingrown hairs, you're having irritation or allergies to your deodorant. So I like Vanicream deodorant quite a bit. But that micro trauma or that irritation or inflammation is leading to dark underarms. When I see videos like this where you have beauty influencers, even dermatologists who recommend glycolic acid for the armpits, I'm always like cringing. I actually don't want my patient to do that, because you're playing with fire here. What could potentially happen is that you get a contact dermatitis, whether allergic or irritant, most likely an irritant contact dermatitis, and you cause more inflammation, leading to worsening of the hyperpigmentation, and your armpits could get worse. I like seeing a lot of other creators sharing their stories behind this, showing that their armpits did get worse with using glycolic acid, especially in skin of color. I practice in Seattle and I see a lot of skin of color, and so when I see this trend, I'm just thinking, please do not do this. For dark underarms, the studies have shown that niacinamide containing products with an emollient, so a moisturizer, so you have like La Roche-Posay has niacinamide containing moisturizers, CeraVe PM lotion, so EltaMD makes an AM and PM moisturizer, as well as a barrier renewal complex, Renew Complex moisturizer with niacinamide. Niacinamide is good for lightening the dark underarms when it's at low concentrations. I wouldn't say go put the ordinary 10% niacinamide, because that's too much. When you look at niacinamide in the studies, you only need 2 to 4% of niacinamide to help with brightening the skin and reducing dark spots. Other thing you could consider would be tretinoin or a retinoid, but you got to be very careful because that can also irritate your armpits. But that's also been shown to help with dark underarms. Okay, the next one here. So she is applying a Dial antibacterial hand soap. Oh, this is the skincare trifecta of 2024. A lot of creators are promoting the skincare trifecta, which would be Dial hand soap, a retinol, and also using a Gold Bond moisturizer, a Gold Bond moisturizer that has exfoliants in it, including urea. So what are my thoughts on the trifecta, the skincare trifecta? Oh boy, well, I would say that the hand soap is meant for your hands. It has antibacterial properties, and overuse of this, I know microbiologists are probably not happy about that, because you could promote resistant strain if you overuse it, especially on your face. And I'm just worried about it being too harsh for your face. Like, your hands are much thicker skin. It can take a lot more than your face. So I would say definitely not do the hand soap for your face. All you need is a gentle cleanser. Guys, you don't have to break the bank on expensive cleansers, and you also don't need to go the opposite direction and just use hand soap for your face. Please don't do that. Looking at the ingredients or the steps in the trifecta where people are really glowing up is probably from more so the retinol. Retinol, as you guys know, is a vitamin A derivative cream. It's great. I love different retinols I've talked about on the channel, where there's the Neutrogena retinol, CeraVe resurfacing retinol serum, Alpha Ret by Skin Better Science, you name it, right? So I am all about the retinol. So maybe they're glowing up and seeing improvement because they're regularly using a retinol. And I always say just a pea-sized amount to your entire face and then moisturize. Moisturizer wise, I want a gentle moisturizer with very little exfoliants for the face. Now, if you use Gold Bond, Gold Bond's amazing for the body and for really thick skin on the elbows, the knees, the hands and feet, especially when it has urea in it, or PHAs, AHAs, BHAs. The rough and bumpy Gold Bond is really good, but it's a little too strong for the face, I'd say. For a lot of my patients with sensitive skin, it could cause too much of an effect in exfoliating and lead to irritant contact dermatitis. So I'd say ditch the exfoliative moisturizers that are meant for your elbows, knees, hands, and feet, which are much thicker. Okay, so big no to the skincare trifecta. Pass on that, guys. Let's move on to the next trend here. Okay, so this lovely couple here, they're going and cutting out the bottoms of their shoes because they're trying to go barefooted. Now, I'm seeing this trend a lot where people are going barefooted because they claim that there are a lot of health benefits. If it helps with your mental health, sure, I can respect that. But from a dermatology standpoint, I am treating plantar warts, foot fungus, aka tinea pedis, and bacterial infections on the daily in my practice in clinic. And so I am really cognizant of being sure to wear my footwear around the pool. If I'm gonna go shower at the pool, wear your flip-flops. Make sure you wear those slippers or flip-flops in the shower if you're going to a public shower after the gym. Don't expose your feet to common ground. If you're going to TSA and you're not on TSA pre-check and you gotta take your shoes off, please have your socks on, because if you go barefooted through that area, you can pick up foot fungus like no other, I bet. So warts are one of the hardest areas to treat. Would be the bottom of the foot. So please try to protect your feet, moisturize them. Use your Gold Bond rough and bumpy moisturizer for the bottom of your feet to help moisturize it, but protect your feet. I would say not a good idea to go barefooted in public. And I don't understand when I see people barefooted on the plane. They're walking around on the plane in the aisle barefoot. I've seen that a couple of times in the last couple of years, which blows my mind. No being barefooted. That's another trend I'm seeing on TikTok. Next is important because it's summertime. So this kid has a tick. Not sure if it's a deer tick or a dog tick. It's on the larger side, but it is on a child, and the mom is lighting a match here to burn the tick. I saw another video of removing an ixodes or deer tick with their fingers. Now, let's talk about tick removal this summer. Tick-borne illnesses are on the rise. I did my training in Boston at Harvard, and I diagnosed a lot of Lyme disease. I diagnosed so many Lyme disease lesions on the back of the knees, and I collected the emergency room cases that I was consulted on. I helped write a paper on blistering rashes behind your knees, most likely being Lyme disease. And a lot of times, the small baby phase of the ixodes tick, the deer tick, they're called the nymph stage. They like to hang out the tips of the blades of grass, and when you walk by, they just latch onto the back of your leg, and they love the back of the knee where it's moist and warm and protected, and so they'll feed on you and bite you and transmit that spirochete bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi. So when this video showed up and I saw that the mom was burning the tick, I was like, no, don't do that, mom, because heat will agitate the tick and it's more likely to regurgitate its stomach contents back into your skin, leading to increased risk of infection of Borrelia. So that will lead to Lyme disease, which we don't want because it doesn't just stay in the skin. Untreated, it can move throughout your body and become disseminated Lyme and even affect your central nervous system, and you can have neurological involvement of the bacteria. So we want to prevent Lyme as much as possible. So this summer, wear protective clothing, spray your clothes down with bug spray, try to stay on the path and stay away from longer grass. And when you're done with your hike, throw your clothes in the dryer for 10 minutes and inspect your body for any tick, but don't use heat. Don't smother it with peppermint oil or Vaseline like you see online. I would recommend just getting a fine tip tweezers, grab near the mouth and pull straight up without twisting at a steady pace, and try to grab the mouth as much as possible so you don't leave the mouth parts in the skin. Then I would keep the tick in a bag and show it to your doctor and talk to your doctor about the timeline of when you went hiking, when you noticed the tick, and they'll talk to you about prophylaxis. And definitely depending on where you are, we're thinking about different things like Rocky Mountain spotted fever, alpha-gal syndrome, not just Lyme disease. So we have to be careful control of all ticks. All right, guys, so know how to remove a tick properly and don't go crazy with the matches for sure. So phenol peels, very impressive results here for deep acne, atrophic scars. You can really see improvements by using a phenol peel, but I'm gonna flip this other video and it shows this very unfortunate case of a man in Brazil who passed away, age 27, healthy, went to a Medi Spa, went to an esthetician in Brazil to get his acne scars treated with phenol. And we found out that this esthetician actually just took a free course held by a pharmacist on how to apply phenol. I do chemical peels, but I have to tell you, I don't touch phenol peels. I never have used a phenol peel. We didn't go through that in training. And in residency, my attending said, if you can't handle the complications of a procedure, don't perform that procedure. This phenol peel contains carbolic acid, and when you put it on the skin, it gets absorbed very readily into your body, into your systemic circulation. And it goes directly to the heart. And when it reaches the heart, it's directly toxic to the heart, to the myocardium, the heart muscle itself. And that can lead to cardiac arrhythmias, irregularities in your heartbeat. And so when you administer this peel, you're supposed to have strict cardiac monitoring. When I looked at the studies after I saw this unfortunate case of this man, over 30% of patients who get a phenol peel will have a cardiac arrhythmia and they have to intervene. This patient unfortunately passed away. And you can see here, he goes unresponsive very quickly. He stops talking, he's with his partner, he falls back, and they try to do CPR and they cannot resuscitate him, which is a very unfortunate case. So phenol peels, it looks impressive. I'm seeing a lot of videos going viral on TikTok showing before and afters, but always talk to your provider about risks and benefits and just be careful of phenol peels. I do peels that are not nearly as deep and strong because I can manage the complications. Very sad case. Next and very last would be using lemons or limes on the hair to get bleach blonde hair. So this summer is also very important to know that you can get a margarita burn, a Lyme dermatitis, and any citrus really has the potential to cause a phytophotodermatitis, and you do not want that. It is like poison ivy, like no other, where you can get a blistering linear rash on your hands for those squeezing their limes into their margarita and they're out at the pool. UV radiation hits that lemon juice or lime juice and it will cause a gnarly rash called a phytophotodermatitis. So just ending the video there. Be careful, limes and lemons. Can't imagine them out in the sun and squeezing all that citrus juice on their scalp and it going on their face. We're gonna be seeing some pretty gnarly blistering rashes because people are gonna wanna try and get some sun-kissed hair and jump on that trend and really cause some damage. And I've seen a blister and scar the face or the arms. It can get that bad. When you get blistering, you're really looking at second degree territories going down to the dermis and affecting the dermis, leading to scarring. So be very careful of that. All right, guys. So please share with your friends who are into TikTok trends. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I had fun doing this video. Thanks guys for sticking around to go through all these viral trends with me on TikTok. You can find me on TikTok at Dr. SPF, on Instagram at Daniel Sugai MD. Thank you for over 500,000 followers on Instagram and over 600,000 friends here on YouTube. So appreciate you all. Take care and peace.